Hey, what's going on, guys? I've got a good vlog for you today. What we're going to talk about is 3 things that I wish I had done when I was a beginning lifter. So, 3 things that I would do today if I was just starting out. All right. The first one is this, and this should come as no surprise. I would train the main lifts like a madman. I would train the squat, the deadlift, the bench press. I'd also train the overhead press and probably the Olympic lifts as well. And I would seek to become an expert on them. Now, that doesn't just mean incorporating them in your workouts. What I also mean is trying to obtain one, the mobility, and two, the motor recruitment necessary in order to perform the lift properly. So that means that I'd be looking at my squat, and if I had all the technology today that I had back then, I'd be videotaping every squat. I would look at irregularities in my movement patterns. And then what I would do is I would look those irregularities up, see where a tightness might exist. It might exist in the hip, it might exist in the IT band. And then I'd go to Kelly Starrett's book, Becoming the Supple Leopard. I would look up how his different types of prescriptions that he has in order to handle that mobility abnormality, and I would work on that. I would make myself as able as possible to obtain the perfect position in the squat, the deadlift, the overhead press, the bench press, and in order to do the Olympic lifts properly. I would also train different variations of each lift. So for the squat, for example, the overhead squat and the front squat are excellent at helping you to train proper posture for the high bar and low bar back squat. And the reason is because they force you into a really difficult posture, right? So the Olympic lift is very difficult, and I would definitely train the front squat a lot more if I back when I was younger, if I had was able to do it over again, because it's so much better for athletes. It forces thoracic extension because you're up here, you have to keep that weight high, you have to keep your core nice and tight. So if you're a high school football player or a wrestler or something like that, that's a perfect variation for you to train. It's also going to help you to get stronger on your squat because you're training at a more disadvantaged posture where you have to hold the weight up. And it's going to really help you to have better form because it's going to help you to keep, you're going to be training that thoracic extension. You're going to be training your body to be in a good position, a good athletic position. So I would definitely do those types of variations. The second thing I would do, and this has a lot to do with nutrition, is rather than taking a prescribed diet and just eating what somebody else says I should eat, or just following some diet that I found out of a bodybuilding magazine, what I would do is I would get a notebook and I'd start writing things down. I would probably take the basic prescriptions that somebody might say, this amount of protein, this amount of fat, this amount of carbs, but I'd start writing down the foods that I was eating for each meal. And not only would I list out the macronutrients, I would list out how it made me feel. Did it give me gut distress? Did it give me energy? Did I feel good after I ate it? How was my brain feeling? How was my workout that day? I'd start to write these things down. And the reason why you want to do this is because nutrition, of course, extends beyond macronutrients, right? It has an effect on a lot of different aspects of our body. And even if you're hitting your macros, building muscle, building strength right now, if you're not following the proper nutrition protocols and you're, say, eating something that isn't making you feel good or that is giving you gastric distress, down the line, it's going to knock that fortress you're building down. And so that's what happened to me with ulcerative colitis. For years, I would down whey protein shakes. I would down, 3, 4, 5 pounds of meat per day trying to get big, when the reality was it was ripping my gut apart. And anytime I was facing gastric distress or anything like that, I would ignore it. I would say, oh my God, it's protein farts, whatever, dude, I'm getting huge. Nah, dude, what you got to do is you got to write this stuff down, see what foods are affecting you negatively, get rid of those foods, see what foods are helping you flourish, and then that is the secret for the nutrition plan that's going to work for you. There are so many people, nutrition is a pseudoscience. There's so many people just talking past each other right now on YouTube, talking past each other, even in the scientific world. It comes down to what works for you and what makes you feel good, what gives you energy, what do you digest, what are your epigenetics allowing for you to gain the most benefit out of. Okay? The third thing that I would seriously, seriously do is I would incorporate more movement activity into my daily regimens. And the reason for this is because over the years, when I was getting bigger, when I was lifting really heavy weights, I would face so many different types of movement issues. You know, when I was a kid, I would scamper around, I'd run up, like climb poles, climb trees, do all kinds of different things. And after lifting weights for a certain amount of time, all that stuff started to become scarier to me. You know, and then when I was in the Marine Corps, I was doing all that stuff too. And a few years out, after, you know, powerlifting for a while, you know, none of that stuff, I couldn't do it anymore. And if I tried, I'd start to get hurt. And the reason there is this really has nothing to do with the gaining mass or lifting, but it has everything to do with, one, athletic ability, two, your ability to enjoy your life. I see so many guys who look so fucking uncomfortable. You know, they're squatting, they're deadlifting, they feel they're huge, all this stuff, but you know, walking up a hill is hard for them. If they need to get down and kneel down and take care of their kid for something, that's hard for them. You know, and I don't ever want to be like that again. And so I put a lot of effort now into getting out and moving throughout my day as much as possible. And what I mean by that is, you know, every hour I'll get up here. If I'm sitting down for more than an hour, I'll get up and I'll do a set of 50 squats. I'll do some bear crawls around the house. I will do some walking lunges around the house. You shouldn't be sitting down for as long as we do throughout the day. One, more movement's going to make you more healthy. Two, it's going to allow you more freedom of movement. Three, it's going to make you a better lifter because you're going to be more mobile. You're going to understand more motor recruitment patterns, and it's going to help to train your brain to do new things. And I would constantly be out there trying to do new things. I should have tried jiu-jitsu 10 years ago. Instead, I've just begun this past year, and it's made a world of difference for me, for my mental clarity, for feeling good. My joints actually feel better, my hips feel better, and I'm getting out there and I'm moving in a way that's helping my brain grow. You know, I feel more physically capable because of it. So those are just a few things that I would be doing if I was a new lifter. You can agree with me or disagree with me. If any of you have anything else you want to input there, any of you experienced lifters want to talk about what you would be doing, go ahead and put them in the comments below. And as always, I will talk to you tomorrow with a new vlog. Peace.